Okay, we're back in the saddle here, but we're not going particularly far past milepost 116, and the reason why is we have a bunch of stuff right here in the area. So first of all, we do have a culvert. So I believe the mileage on this one is 66.32. That's the original mileage, so that would be 116.02. So what we have here as well is we actually have the spur that was constructed here at Cameron Falls, or by its original name, which was Hydro. So right down here you can see what remains of this spur that used to service the construction for the Cameron Falls generating station. And later, once the generating station was in operation, it was basically used as a spur to bring materials and back and forth, and right, so you can sort of see this little right of way down here where that culvert was. There was actually a box culvert that used to run under both the main grade and the spur, and we'll take a look at that. So we're going to do a little separate video on the spur here running up to Cameron Falls. So anyway, we're going to move ahead here a little bit. And so what we have in this location right here is, this is where the station was here at Cameron Falls. So this little spur used to come up here. As I mentioned, there was a station that was established here. So we talked a little bit in the previous segment about the original station that was created in 1919, and then it was replaced by, I guess, a newer entity in 1920. So let me get my cheater notes out here. So the original station, again, was called Cameron Falls, and that was in 1919, and then the station was moved to this location in 1920. There you can see the base of a telegraph pole. And so when it was moved in 1920 to this location, the name was changed. It had originally been called, again, Cameron Falls, but the name Cameron Falls was used to it was used for the station to the east, which had been called Cronin, and that one became Cameron Falls. And then this station became known as Hydro. And again, the purpose of the station was to basically feed the hydroelectric plant that was being constructed. Now, right about here, right where the station is, we actually have a couple of points of interest. So the station would have been right in this area here, somewhere in here. And so what we have is right where the station is, and I'm looking for it here, there's also a standing telegraph pole. So I didn't even know that was here. I saw this a couple of weeks ago when we were here. There it is right there. So again, so this is where the station here at Cameron Falls would have been, right here. And then there's the standing telegraph pole, which we're going to take a look at. So this is kind of where this is where the station would have been, right in this area here. I don't know if there's any traces of anything left. It's like kind of going through the enchanted forest here. So if you do want to see a picture of the Cameron Falls station, you can go on my website, and there is a picture of it. What happened with the station was it remained called Hydro until 1939, when the station to the east, which was called Cameron Falls, was renamed McCaskill, and then this station was called Cameron Falls. And the station here was remained a station on the line until 1959, when it was removed. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the telegraph pole and then jump back up on the grade and continue our exploration. Okay, so we found a very rare site. Just kind of jumped out at me because it looks different than the other vegetation. You can kind of see it here. So what we have is we have a still standing telegraph pole. This one is quite high. Usually they're not this particularly high, but this one seems a little bit sort of out of the ordinary. Just maybe me, just because of my perspective. It's kind of difficult to see the top there. I can see some insulators on there. I can see at least one green one, two green ones. Can't tell anything else on there. It just seems like it's such a ways up to the top there. I can't particularly tell, but again, this is just kind of a rare sight to actually see one of these poles that is still upright. Okay, let's jump back up on the grade and continue our journey. All right, we're gonna move just ever so slightly here because somewhere here we have yet another telegraph pole that we're gonna go have a look at. I'm just sort of scanning the brush here. It's right up here somewhere. There it is, right there. So we're gonna jump in and go take a look at that telegraph pole. All right, so you go a little further and you find another telegraph pole. Again, it's just so weird. Some sections you don't see anything, and other areas there's a whole bunch. So this one's kind of neat because there's still a lot of insulators still on here. You can see part of the cross beam is broken off, which is lying right here. If I can flip it. Ground is kind of frozen here. You can see that there's still some insulators on here. Very rare to actually see a couple of green ones still on here. So this is a Brookfield. This is a Hemingway. And what's even more unusual, on the bottom pegs here, you can actually see, I've never seen this one. This is kind of a ceramic one. And then we have a small Hemingway green one. I've never seen one of these before. So this is a Hemingway, and it's number 12. Again, I don't collect these things, but just again, really neat to see these. Anyway, and also kind of a neat thing, the poles are all numbered. So this is number 6, and the pole that we just saw was number 5. So they're all kind of numbered along the grade. Okay, so we're gonna jump back up on the grade and resume our journey. All right, let's resume the journey here, leaving the Cameron Falls Station area behind. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna run west a little bit, and then we're gonna start turning to the south, and we're gonna run south for basically the rest of the journey as we parallel the Nipigon River. Too many rivers in my brain here. Okay, so I'm gonna zip you ahead a little bit here. Okay, so here we've got a little bit of a 2-for-1. We got a culvert. There's nothing overly exciting about the culvert. It's just a metal culvert. The mileage on it, if you listen carefully, you can hear the Nipigon River. The mileage is 66.52 on the original line, so that's 116.32. Now, what's interesting is we have yet another telegraph pole down there. And there's a couple neat things to see on it. So we're going to jump down and have a look. So we've worked our way down here and we have yet another telegraph pole find. This one is kind of interesting, again, just by the number of insulators that are on here, particularly the green ones. So here's a Brookfield one. It's got some nicks in it. It's number 8. And then there's a Hemingway here on the metal peg. I can't turn it. This one still has the wire attached to that. That's kind of neat. Yeah, I can't turn that one. There's another green one up there, so that looks like maybe another Hemingway on there. There's some Dominion 42s. This one still has the wire attached to it. And then over here, we have kind of an unusual one. I've never seen this one before. It's got a very different shape to it. I'll wind it off here. So this is it's a Hemingway. What does it say here? S12. It's got that unusual design because it's very squat and it's got this ridge kind of cutting through the middle. So I've never really seen that before. Kind of really neat. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to work our way back up to the grade. And we are going to continue plugging our way to the south. All right, let's resume the journey. So what we're going to be entering here is we're going to be entering a pretty decent sized rock cut. We have a point of interest before we actually get into the cut. There it is right there. So what we have is we have a flanger sign. So this is a variation of the usual flanger sign. So you can see it right there. So this flanger sign here is basically indicates that there is an obstruction on the side, and basically this section is a little bit narrow, obviously with being a rock cut, and so that flanger sign is a little bit more for the spreader plow with the arms on it, and so the idea is that the operator needs to retract the wings on the plow lest it smash into the sides of the rock cut. So here you can see the beginning of the cut itself. So I'm going to walk you through the cut here. You can see this is the biggest part of the cut. The dog see something up there? You can see that probably this part here is about 20-25 feet high. It's very, very high. You can see the cut is also on the north side. You can see there's a lot of vegetation growing in here on the north side. Continues here on the south side. Again, you can see how high this part of the rock cut is. And this is the first sort of substantial rock cut that we've seen in quite a bit. And this is obviously indicative of the terrain change here as we approach the Nipigon River. So we see some real sort of different geography. And so again, the cut continues here. It drops a little bit in height. You can see all of the fallen trees and things like that here. You can see how it continues on this side. Here we're probably again up into that. This got to be about maybe 15 feet or so. And again, continuing here on the south side. You see all the growth that's starting to happen on the sides of the cut, and that's very common. The vegetation doesn't really have anywhere to go, and so it starts sort of encroaching in on the grade, particularly on the north side. So here the rock cut starts to peter out a bit. And then over here somewhere, we have the flanger sign for the other side of the cut. Now I just got to keep my eyes open for it because it's kind of hiding. It's just up here. There it is right there. So you can see that it's an older style flanger sign. So it's got the old metal pipe, and again, it's been suggested to me that these this style, these pipes were actually made out of old boiler tubes, and they were hammered flat at each end in order to be driven into the ground and to secure the signage to it. So okay, what we're going to do is we're going to pause here momentarily and then just resume our journey here.